Sleep, a biological necessity for all human beings. Sleep can affect our mood, our health, and our safety. This is amplified when we reach our teenage years. Sleep habits change from childhood to adolescence to adulthood. The largest change being the shift in our internal clocks. When a teenager hits puberty, their internal clock shifts to 2 hours later. That means they go to bed 2 hours later and sleep in 2 hours later. This is where we encounter a problem. While teens are going to bed later, they are not sleeping in. Sleeping in longer is important for teens because the longer they sleep in, the more likely they are to get their REM sleep. The main reason teenagers do not get sleep is due to school start times. Many high schools start before 8 in the morning. Arroyo Grande, for example, starts at 7:55. The problem with starting school so early is that teens are not fully awake for the first few hours of school. This can have a negative effect on their health, grades, and attendance. A school district in Seattle has already implemented a change in school start times. School now starts at 8:55 a.m. After changing their school start times, they noticed that tardies significantly decreased. The reason for decreased tardies is, by pushing school back, we are more in line with students and their sleeping schedules. Another reason to make school start times later is, students who get 8 hours of sleep a night are less likely to be depressed. Depression has become more and more common among students. Mental health issues have become prevalent in students, and many are caused by loss of sleep. More and more of our students are suffering with mental health problems, including depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, eating disorders, and addiction. 1 in 4 students has a diagnosable illness, and about 50% of students have become so anxious that it affects their academics. A modest delay in school start time was associated with significant improvements in measures of adolescent alertness, mood, and health. Students falling asleep in class is unfortunately common. I have some personal experience with this. When I was in high school, I was a varsity diver for all 4 years. That usually meant I had practice at 5:45 in the morning and then another practice at night. I was also a cheerleader all 4 years of high school, 2 years on JV and 2 years on varsity. As a junior and a senior, I participated on the stunt team. I then would have tumble from 8:30 to 10 o'clock at night. When I did not have dive practice, I attended early morning seminary, which is a Bible study class for my church. My days often looked like this. I would wake up and either go to dive practice at 5:45 in the morning, or I would attend early morning seminary at 6:30. After school, I would have both a dive practice and a cheer practice and would just switch between the two. Usually I would go for 2 hours of cheer and then 3 hours of dive. Dive got done at around 7, and from 8:30 to 10, I would go to tumble. I'd get home around 11 and do homework until about 1 in the morning. On average, I only slept about 4 hours a night when I was in high school. During teenage years, it is recommended that adolescents get between 8 and 10 hours of sleep a night. Unfortunately, a majority of teenagers are not reaching this goal. With only about 15% of students getting 8.5 hours of sleep a night, we need to make a change. Back home, my school district started having late start Mondays. That meant on Monday mornings, we wouldn't start school until about 9 a.m. I fondly remembered these Mondays. It was the only day in the week that I could sleep in, and I actually felt ready to be at school. If we started implementing late start Mondays every day, then our students would be more alert and more awake and more ready to start learning. Sleep also has an effect on teenagers and how much they grow. Human growth hormones are only released at night, meaning if adolescents do not get enough good quality sleep at night, they can stunt their growth. Some people believe that changing school start times won't do anything. There is an argument that says changing school start times will not do anything because students are up late on their phones anyways. The problem with this argument is the point of changing school start times is not so kids get to bed sooner. Students are going to be up late no matter what. as they have a different schedule than the rest of us. Their internal clocks are set 2 hours later, as I've stated before. That means they need to sleep in 2 hours longer. The point of changing school start times is so that they will be able to sleep in. Another argument is changing the school bus schedule. It's a lot of work, there's a lot of rearranging that needs to be done. However, I ask you this: is a small hassle such as changing the bus schedule worth all of the benefits for our students? They would be happier, they would be healthier, they would do well in school, tardies would go down. What would you do? One of the biggest benefits of changing school start times is students and their academic success. Students who get more sleep are often more successful in school. Why is this? It oftentimes has to do with how much sleep a student gets. If a student gets the recommended 8 hours of sleep a night, then they are more alert during class and they retain more information. Those who don't get that much sleep at night often tend to be sleepy during class and not pay attention. The most important kind of sleep for teens is REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement. REM sleep can only be achieved if you are asleep long enough. That is why early school is so bad for teens. Often REM sleep occurs after midnight into the early morning. REM is important because that is when the brain retains the information it gathered throughout the day. It is also when the body heals itself. That is why students who do not sleep enough are prone to health issues and mental health problems. The best way to ensure REM sleep is achieved is to make sure you fall asleep before midnight. This gives your body plenty of time to go into REM. Another reason for later school start times is student safety. Studies show that drowsy teens are twice as likely to get in a car accident than those who are fully awake. There's about 10,000 car accidents a year because of sleepy teenagers at the wheel. Many high school students drive themselves to and from school. With so many drowsy teens on the road at the same time, driving can be dangerous. Many studies liken drowsy teen drivers to drunk driving. Being tired has a similar effect as being drunk. While student safety on school campuses is often talked about, there needs to be more conversation about teens and driving. Sleep is important for the teenage brain and for their well-being. Sleep helps teenagers with their mood and behavior. Adolescents' emotions can be heightened when teens are overtired. Another issue with teens not getting enough sleep is it further messes up their schedule. Teens getting less and less sleep negatively affects their sleeping patterns. Teens tend to have irregular sleep patterns throughout the week and then stay up late and sleep in late on the weekends. This just further affects their internal clock and hurts their sleep quality. In conclusion, sleep is really important. It is especially important for our teenagers and our students. A majority of students are not reaching the daily goal of 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night. That means a majority of our students are severely sleep deprived. Sleep deprivation often leads to mental health issues, physical health issues, and poor academic performance. We can improve all of this. We just need to change our school start times. Even if it's just pushing back 1 hour, we will be more in line with our students and their sleeping schedules. Changing school start times will benefit our students. They will get more sleep, which will make them happier, healthier, have less tardies, and have better academic performances. By changing school start times, we only benefit our students. My final paper will be addressed to Andy Stenson, who is the superintendent of the Lucia Mar United School District, which is where I grew up and I went to school. Thank you for listening to my presentation and for being so open-minded about changing school start times. Changing school start times is so significant for our students. It'll help them be healthier, happier, and they'll have more academic success. Thank you.